Hello everyone, welcome to the special session on early childhood education. Today we have the principal of Westberry School, Tenali, Ms. Sumita Bhattacharya with us. Sumita Bhattacharya brought many laurels and talents to People Combined Group. She has a master degree in sociology and English literature. She has done more than 100 parenting sessions in Vizag, Bangalore and Hyderabad. It's a pleasure to have you here, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Jyotika. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, ma'am. And first of all, as a strong foundation is required for a well-built structure, early childhood education plays a very important role in students' career. So, in your opinion, how do kids grow?
When the child is born, the learning time which the previous generation of my generation thought that once the Akshara Abhyas has been done, then only we will send the child to school after 5. That time people didn't know that the brain growth is 90% done from the child, the day the child is born till 6 years.
Oh.
So when we were smaller, we missed that opportunity. Why we say the kids are smarter nowadays? The reason is that age group, can you imagine a fast growth? The child is born without any senses, right? Sense means all the senses are there, but the child doesn't know how to use those senses. Within 6 months, the child recognizes mother, the voice, taste, where to get the food, when to cry, when to be happy. All the senses start coming within 6 months. So growth span is so fast during the smaller age that if it is not directed toward the place where it is needed to be, then we don't get the exact potential what the child has.
Yes, true.
So the growth at that age is very important, which has to be guided and taken toward the right route.
So, ma'am, what do you think about the preschool education?
As a child, when the child is born, the growth starts from the day the child is born. And when they come to the preschool, the child is already speaking, the child is already standing straight, he is walking, he is coming to school. Preschool is so important because nowadays their brain has evolved. It's not the brain which the older people had before, right? With the time, as things are evolved, nowadays, as I tell the parents, you have given birth to an Abhimanyu. When the baby was inside the tummy, mother was having the laptop on the lap. So the child has already started learning what is needed in life. For their life, whatever is needed, they have already started learning. But if we stop them there and put them back that it's okay, when he grows up, he will go to school. Let's take it casually, not to send the child regularly to the school. He is small. It's a very big mistake. Because every day is important in child's life. That first 1,000 days which we call, from 2.5 years to 5, that first 1,000 days of the child is very important in his life. To make him know what he is, to make him understand his environment around. So preschool education is very, very essential for a child.
So every age requires some essentials and requirement. So in your opinion, what is the essential required in preschool education?
See, preschool education should have 3 important things with it. One is the physical development, second is the social development, and third is the cognitive development. When we say that the child needs to know who I am, nowadays in every house there is only one child, right? Yes, they hardly have a sibling too. Gone are those days. I'm the 6th sibling of my parent. I had 5 elder brothers and me. So we have a half of a cricket team at home. So sharing our thoughts with them, sharing our things with them were very easy for us. But here in every house there is only one child. And the mother, how friendly the mother can be, she cannot be a friend. She can be friendly, but she cannot be a friend. Friend needs to be in the same age group. So when the child comes to the school and mixes with the same age group children, first thing he understands who I am. Me, myself, these first thing the child understands that. That is the first exposure.
Okay.
Then the second exposure is when the child is given different activities to do. Run, walk, climb, swing, jump. All these are the activities which help him in growing the gross motor skills, having control over his own body. Right? See, when the child is, when I ask when I am training my teachers, I always say, challenges are not hurdles. Challenges are how we succeed. When the small child is coming to the school, climbing 5 steps without holding a side railing is a big thing.
Yes,
but the same thing is easy go when the child is in first. He runs up and comes down. Because by that time, that mental understanding of the height, his own weight is understood. Then this is the gross motor side. Then there is a finer side, right? From fine motor development, that is finger movement, wrist movement, hand movement. When you give a coloring to the child of 2.5 and 3, he colors like this, zigzag, zigzag, zigzag it goes. Then slowly as he grows, we make them say, put the hand on the table, move your wrist. Then it comes to the finger, then both the things together. This understanding cannot be given by the parent at home.
Okay.
For this, school is a must. School is not for 26 letter and 9 numbers. That any parent can teach at home. They did not come to the school to learn the 26 alphabets and 9 numbers. They need to know who I am and what I can do.
So you say that overall development is what a child needs. So, and after growing up, we would be having an influence of the social life.
Right.
And we have so many emotions, and we have to be under the control of emotions.
Right.
So from a child itself, do you think that we should require emotional and social development?
That's what the child has to learn first. I gave you the example that at previous years, there used to be joint family. So emotional, social development happened at home a little. Not much, but happened a little. The child knows there is somebody else than mama also.
Okay. Yes.
Right?
True.
Here is the only mother and the father. And people those who are lucky who have the grandparents with them. Very few of them have. So the social and emotional development of the child is a must. Social involvement means sharing with somebody, sitting with somebody, adult, always a adult support. Either mama should be next to me, or the ayah should be next to me, or the teacher should be next to me, goes on till nursery. That's 2.5 to 3 years, from 3 months, 3 years, 4 months. Then we make the child sit. You must see the sitting arrangement of a child. First sitting arrangement is single sitting. Then they go to first standard, they have double sitting. They have that till 4th standard. Then again it becomes single sitting. So the sitting arrangement of the school is also according to the development of the child.
Okay.
The social development when they sit with somebody and share. Right? Emotional, that whenever I feel angry I can slap anybody. Because that is okay at home. Because Ayah is taking care, Nanny is taking care. It's okay at home, but it's not okay in the school. So we teach them that you getting angry is nothing wrong. But getting angry and using louder voice or hitting somebody is wrong. Getting angry is okay, that's an emotion.
That's an emotion. Yeah.
You have a right to have that emotion. But expressing it, he learns in the school. Right? That is social and emotional development of the child. So automatically the child starts adjusting to the environment he lives in. He learns to be understanding the opposite person, whether a girl or a boy, how to share, how to play, and starts enjoying the social culture of the place. Isn't it? Because otherwise when we meet, you have seen the children, when you go for the parents, when they are sitting there, although I am very annoyed with that, but then too, people do that when they go to meet somebody, they give the phone to the child and the child sits in the corner, keeps on playing some nursery rhymes and parents talk. No, that's a complete wrong thing, because the child has already learned how to be socializing. Let him meet somebody, ask few questions. It can be about the dress, it can be about the food, it can be about any toy. To let the child socialize.
Okay.
Because socializing is making oneself confident of what the person is. Me, I understand when I meet somebody else, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's how the social and emotional development happens in the school. The different activities it is being done. Sometimes they are playing together, sometimes they are coloring together, sometimes they are sharing something, sharing food, eating together. So they don't eat at home, but in the school they eat. Because other one is eating. Just like same age group person is sitting there and eating with a spoon. So he also picks up a spoon and starts eating. So these are the things which helps a child in growth.
So you say that socializing is very important because he should be a part of a society.
Right.
And as just like the social development and emotional development, there is a third development called as the physical development. So how it is essential and why it is important?
Physical development is important to have the cognitive development. When you are looking for a cognitive development, that learning, literacy or numeracy or anything, if the physically child is not fit, he will not be interested in that. His brain need to develop, right? Brain is already in the spark of development. The neurons are getting open. When the neurons are getting open and if we don't give them the proper thing to put into, as I normally always give the example as, land is fertile. If you put the neem plant, it will be neem plant. If you put the mango plant, it will be mango plant. So what I am putting in when the fertile brain is there is more important. If the child sees too much fights, he fights. If he sees many people singing, he sings. If he sees many people doing the written work or coloring or doing, he does that. So cognitive development has to be stressed at the age of 4 to 6.
Okay.
It should be stressed a lot. So there the different activities, now the modern world has so much of activities with which they can understand. See, if a child of 3.5 years understand the shapes, colors and the pattern of things, circle, triangle, all that, that means the cognitive development is very good. Okay. Is growing well. When the child can catch and throw a ball, so he is 4+. His mental ability is 4+. When he can catch a ball, the velocity of the ball coming to the child and he is catching it, that means he is in that stage. So the cognitive development of the child is only possible if the child is put through different activities in the school.
So physical development and cognitive development are related to each other.
Yeah.
Am I right, ma'am?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the next thing is that what is lacking in today's child? You said that physical development is required, social development is required and emotional development is required. But what is something which is lacking in today's kids?
Today's kids are lagging in all the fields except the parents are always after the child should learn lots of things. Alphabets, words, things. Because see, we teach in not in a mother tongue. We teach in other tongue, right? Which is not a mother tongue. So other tongue may be Hindi, maybe English, maybe any other. So we are teaching in English, which is completely new to the child. So if the child is not exposed in proper manner in that language, how does he understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's the reason the environment should be created in the school for that particular language to understand. When we went to the school in our times, many years back, the English class started with A, write a A. Now we don't start with that. Now we start the circle time. How did you come to school? What do you do? So that the language is used to, the child gets used to the language first. Then comes the written part. LSRW. Listening, speaking, reading and then writing. But we started in the other way round when we were kids. First we wrote, then we read, then we listened to the teachers and then we spoke. The language was delayed because of that. So now it should be LSRW. Listening, a lot of listening is needed. Then reading is, after you listen, automatically you will speak. Right? If I'm talking to you, you are speaking to me. So, as in the school, I cannot speak Telugu. I understand now a little bit, but I cannot speak. So, but the little one in the nursery class also comes to me and makes one or two words here and there and makes me understand what the child wants to speak. So that urge of learning new thing is there at that age. Right?
True, ma'am.
So this is missing if the child is at home and not given the environment. Number two is missing is too much of technology given and having a faith on the technology. Technology is important, no doubt in it. We cannot live without it. But for the smaller children, physical activity is more important. Because physical activity and cognitive activity are connected to each other. If the physical activity is not given, brain doesn't work. That's the reason the smaller children are also having obesity.
True.
They sit on one place, keep on listening, looking at the nursery rhymes, looking at the TV for the nursery rhymes all the time. Language doesn't come with that because he is just seeing the moving pictures. And body is at still, where he needs to run, play and learn, not sit and learn. So physical activity is stopping the child from learning, which is a must for any child. Till 10 years, every school, everywhere must have at least 6 periods in a week for games. As a must.
Yes, ma'am.
Every day the child must play for 40 minutes. Running around, playing with the ball, doing something is a must. If that is not given to the child, his growth will be restricted, retarded rather. I should not say restricted, it will be retarded.
There are many reforms which should be done in the pre-education. Like you said that there should be 6 games periods for a week, which is missing in most of the schools at present. So according to my knowledge, there are 2 types of study, practical based study and tab based study. So which is more important and what is the difference between both of them?
Tab based studies, see, both of them are important, but with a limitation.
Okay.
You know, there's nothing wrong in tab learning. Because the language which we want to give to the child, parent cannot give. They are not exposed to that. So the tab nowadays, the tab has beautiful program for the children. Kids programs are beautiful on the tab you get. So there the color matching, shape matching, talking about, storytelling is wonderfully given. But don't make it an addiction like a smoke. Limitations.
Okay.
The tab should be given to the child to play, but there should be limitation. The child is not exposed to that light more than 30 minutes at a stretch. He should not be given.
Yes, ma'am.
Just like that, if the child keeps on running around, he loses all the energy in that. That is also should be restricted, isn't it? The child, so we say a hyperactive child.
Hyperactive children.
This not that they are not hyperactive. They want more activities.
Okay.
Their brain is developed. They are not happy with just writing few words and doing something. They want something more. So that something more has to be given.
Okay.
They are not hyperactive, some disease with them. They are not. They are normal children, but their brain has grown a little more. So when their brain is growing, we have to have those activities which matches their brain. So they will be happily doing it and the learning will show. See, the smaller children this time in our school, when we had the annual day for the kids, all the children compared, not a single teacher was there to compare.
Okay.
Even the pre-primary has compared their program.
Oh.
Right? So what happens here is they are capable. Just we need to feed them.
Okay.
As I said, fertile land, whatever we put, plant grows like that. So they are picking up. So there's nothing wrong in using a tab or having the physical activity. Both go hand in hand, right? But there should be a limitation. That environment parent cannot give, that English environment, they can use the tabs for that. Learning a story, learning a rhyme or something. But don't make it an addiction that I want to go for socializing and I give the tab to the child and move around. No. At that time, the child should socialize.
Yes.
Child should speak to uncle, auntie, take an interview, from where you are coming, what are you. So the expression, because this is the world of expression, right?
Yes, ma'am.
It's not the world where you fill in the bucket with knowledge, because knowledge will be there and it is changing. What knowledge is essential today will not be there after 10 years. When the child comes to 10th, it will be
Something
invalid.
else.
Completely invalid, something new will come. So what we need to teach the child is, what comes, have the spirit to learn that. Get adapted to the new changes. And that can only happen if a proper preschooling is given to the child.
Okay, that's a great thing. And to my knowledge, I came to know that books are being replaced by tabs. Is it a good phenomenon?
No, I don't agree to it. Books can never be replaced by anything. Touching a book, feeling a book, having a paper, that is always important. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So the library, which I always prefer my children to have a library period, is maybe the child is not able to read. First standard child also cannot read the whole story. But once the story is told and the words are there, see, sometimes we have a picture memory. Do you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
We have a picture memory. You write a word and suddenly you think something is missing out of it.
Yeah.
Right? That is called a picture memory. So that picture memory happens when the child cannot read.
Okay.
But then too the reading is a must. Touching the paper is a must. Tablet can never take a place of a book. No. It can be a supporting. Agreed. It can be a supporting because new things are getting developed that can only be transferred into the tablet. Right?
Yes,
that can be used. That is a support. But it can never take a place of a book.
So you say that they can go simultaneous, but
Yes.
they can't be replaced.
Yeah, they cannot be.
Okay. And the last thing is that why do you feel that early age learning is very important, and how is the preschool education in Westberry?
See, when I say that early education is very important, the reason behind it, the maximum neurons are opening at that time. Right? So all those, if it is restricted to what the parents have learned 30 years back, things are not going to be same.
Yes, ma'am.
Their brain has evolved, their thinking has evolved, their environment is shrinking. Previously it is to the big houses, now they live in smaller houses. They used to have big families, now they have small families. So it is shrinking. So the education should be broadening their environment, not shrinking them down.
Okay.
So our preschool in Westberry is always trying to make it broader. As I keep on saying in the school also, the classroom is not only your teaching place, the whole school is your teaching area. The whole school is your classroom. You can take your children anywhere. If you want to teach them plants, take them to the garden. If needed, uproot a small plant and show that these are the roots and these are the things, this is a stem. They will understand and they will remember it forever, instead of putting a picture on drawing a picture on the board and making them understand. Right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
practical learning remains with the child, theoretical learning doesn't. So especially in the smaller age. So the preschooling has to be full of activities. Through the activities the child will learn. Not to stress too much on writing till the child is 4.
Okay.
Fingers are not ready yet. Understanding, yes, they are learning everything orally. But writing part takes a little later because we prepare their fingers first with the coloring, with the sponge, with the dough, making different shapes and all that. The 3 fingers exercises are being given, and that exercises helps the child in growing in future.
So preschool education is very important, and in this early age, all types of development such as emotional development, physical development and cognitive development is required. So it's a very proud and pleasure moment to have a talk with Ms. Sumita Bhattacharya, the principal of Westberry School. And thank you, ma'am, for attending this, and it's very happy to talk with you.
Thank you, Jyotika. Thank you so much. Thank you, parents too. If you are listening to this, please take care of the child, that the child gets a overall development, not restricted one.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.